It was a time in my life I was looking for a job and I ended up being scammed. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amadate Okufishala on Kingdom Increase YouTube channel. I'm so excited to be here. Today I'm going to be sharing about my story of when I got scammed, a job scam. This happened sometime in 2022. I was looking for a job. I was still in my undergrad. It was like my last year or like my third year in university, and I was looking for a job. I was in an apartment that I could not afford because I wasn't working. It was just right after the COVID-19 pandemic, and things was hard, not just for me but for a lot of people, and it was really hard finding a job back then, right? And so that was what I was dealing with, right? And at that time I was very devastated that I couldn't get a job, and even though the bills was piling up, I was not getting any help from the government whatsoever. The rent was actually, just piling up, and I think it was a miracle that I wasn't like evicted before then, although it kind of resulted into that at the end of the day. So yeah, I was very devastated. I was very sad. I was not very sad to the point because I knew that God was taking care of the situation, but I was sometimes I was scared. Sometimes I was hungry. Like a lot of times I was hungry. I think like I just declared that time of my life as some sort of like, yeah, I'm just kind of fasting and like just going through this hot phase of my life. So it happened in 2022 November. I started talking to someone named Robert Ench, but before then I actually got an email from this guy named Greg Reed. He said, "My name is Greg Reed. I'm the human resource manager recruiting at Levis Contracting Services." And when I did look at Google, I checked Google too and find out like, what is Levis Contracting Services. It seemed like it was a legit, company and stuff like that. And after getting scammed, I looked at the Levis Contracting Services scam. Like there was a ton of like SEOs on that. But anyways, I did get the opportunity. I did the interview. It was just like questions, and you just have to reply the answers to the questions on a PDF, and there wasn't like a really video virtual meeting. I did speak to the person over the phone. I believe I did speak to the person over the phone. Yes, I did, while the transaction was actually going on. We kind of switched to Microsoft Teams where I actually spoke to the person, and then I'm gonna show you guys a screenshot of this whole conversation, right? So going back to Microsoft Teams, like I don't really have like the chat like on here, but I don't know if I unblock it that it would. But I'm gonna show you the person's face. Let's see if I'm able to pull up something on there. Nothing. Okay, so basically it resulted, the man Robert Ench, right, basically said that I should buy some cards some prepaid Visa card that I should send it to him, that is going to basically buy some work equipment to sent to me. I didn't really understand why, but I'm like, at that time, like I was very, very young. I was very desperate for a job, and I didn't really know exactly like how these things usually work. The job was supposed to be work from home job, so I wasn't really sure. I never knew that there was something called a job scam, but I know that that's no excuse at the end of the day. Like it felt very, very fishy. Even when I went to get the prepaid cards, like the cashier was like, why do you need this? And I'm like, oh, it's a job. They're asking me to buy all these things. Like, I was pretty confident. And then so basically before buying the prepaid card, like he sent me a fake check. It's like a I'm gonna see if I can find the check, but it's like a check. When I looked at the check, I thought it was really weird that the name wasn't the name of the company. Like, it was just very all over the place. But I'm like, I would see if I can deposit the check, and if it works, then it's a legit check. That was what I thought, that the bank would basically do their job, and basically like I wouldn't have to like bother about that, right? So I did deposit the check using the mobile app, which is like a bad idea. And that was what it said. So I just deposited the check on your mobile app. It gave me like precise instructions on what to do, and like, you know, how to actually deposit the check. And that is when you know that it's very suspicious. So I did deposit the check, you know, following the instructions. And then it actually deposited after like a few days, right? Deposited the check, and then I went ahead following the instructions to actually get the prepaid cards, and then I sent the prepaid cards to him, you know, on Microsoft Teams, and then he sent another check, right? He sent another check that day, like, you know, deposit this one, another one, and then do the same thing all over again. So I was like, you know, fine. I deposited the check, and then luckily for me, RBC, actually was back, that was in RBC, basically caught the whole thing in time. Well, not in time, right? The second check actually did bounce. Both of them did bounce, right? And then I went to the bank, because like my online banking was actually blocked, and I was like, this is quite interesting, like, why is it blocked? So I went to the branch to figure out what happened, just carrying the checks in my hand, you know, trying to figure out like if they're gonna tell me something, even though like I was quite suspicious about something. Like, my intuition was like, there's something wrong about the situation, right? Mind you, that time, like, I was just basically like getting back into like Christianity after a long time of like, you know, being away from the Lord. So the Holy Spirit was speaking, but like I couldn't really like hear him. So I went to the branch, right? I went there and I went to speak to the advisor. Should I call her? I don't know what their job description or like what they call them, but advisor, I guess. Like, I went to speak to the person at the counter, and then she was like, well, this is a fake check. I'm like, but like this person, I basically narrated the whole situation to her, and she's like, well, you know, you should just try to deposit like checks in person instead of like, you know, over the application mobile, because of this fraud, job scams happening. And she said that she's going to set up an appointment with the manager so that I can speak to the manager. And then I went to the manager's office to speak to the manager, and then the manager was like, well, unfortunately, like, I would have to cover the cost for the scam, because like it was something that was kind of voluntary, and I'm like, I didn't know about this thing. Like, I thought there was something wrong, but I just figured that the bank would kind of like, they took a few days to kind of figure out if it was a good check, and I just thought that they would, you know that it wasn't the right check. And so it turned out like it was a couple of days after that the check did bounce. I think that, and anyways, yeah, she said that I was gonna have to cover the cost, basically. And then, you know, I was very shocked. I was very shocked at this time. Like, I did not, first of all, remember, like, I was broke, okay? Like, my rent was piling up, right? I didn't really have anything, you know, to eat at home. Like, it was just me, right, in a one bedroom, right? And I was still figuring out, like, you know, how to actually pay my bills and stuff like that. And, you know, at that time I was actually dealing with like mental health issues, like the pandemic and stuff. And yeah, like, I was very like distraught. I was very like, but I couldn't, like, I had to be strong. Like, I couldn't like be, you know, crying there and there. I just basically like, yeah, I just took it in. I figured that maybe there was something I could do to resolve the situation. I kept trying. When I figured that basically I had to pay it, I just kind of let the situation be. But I feel like I just kept beating myself up, like, for a few months, like why didn't I just listen to myself when I figured that it was a fraudulent activity? Why didn't I? And then the manager actually told me to tell the cops about the situation, but I figured that what's the point, like literally doing that when like it wasn't like I just felt like it was just a waste of time. Like I was like at that time, like mind you, like I was still in school, so I didn't even have the time to be doing all of those. There was a lot of things happening even back then that, you know, I might be sharing like on this page, but I was going through a lot at that season, so I didn't think that going to the police was like, you know, something that I wanted to add to my plate, because it's not like a one-to encounter that you have with them. It's something that you have to constantly have to follow up with the case and investigation. I just figured that, you know what, like this person is probably like in the United States, that I'm just gonna like just take that out and just kind of move forward. And so yeah, I did find out that I was scammed already of $2,500. And then, you know, after praying, getting closer to the Lord, I feel like the experience literally like bust my bubble and made me to like get closer to the Lord, listen to the Holy Spirit, because I was so used to doing things myself. Like I was so used to making my decision. I was very quick to actually trust people, and I feel like that's just the person that I am. Although like lately, like, you know, I feel like it's like most girls are like that. But yeah, like now, like I will check you out, you know, like I will check you. Anyways, then finding out that, you know, I am gonna be getting a new job after like getting close to the Lord and like, you know, praying and fasting. I was very excited, but like that's another story for another day. But yeah, what is my advice to anyone with a bank account, especially like those very young people from the age of like 16 to like 25? Okay, you should be aware of a job scam. In fact, RBC policy says that if you get scammed via like, you know, you trying to get a job, you will have to cover for the cost. It's different from like a credit card scam where like they're liable to actually cover it, or Visa debit scam, they probably will cover it. But for a job scam, you will have to pay for the scam, and literally like they're very keen on their policy. So number one, if you get a job opportunity and the recruiter is not wanting to at least meet you in person or like virtually see you and speak to you, not a phone call, not you answering some type of questionnaire, but actually like a virtual, you know, meeting, and you know, that is a red flag. If they don't want to do a virtual or like a physical meeting, that is a red flag. Or you do, and I would definitely suggest that if you get a job opportunity, look up the name of the company and just do like a job scam search. So like, for example, Levy's contracts and services job scam, or if it's a company like, I don't know, your Interact company job scam, just try to do that, because like those people have actually scammed like not just you, or they're wanting to scam not just you but like other people, and the people that have actually fallen, like, you know, they've actually basically fallen into your trap. Okay, and so they will be vocal about it, just like the way I'm vocal about it now. And yeah, number two is that if they're asking you to basically buy a prepaid card to buy some work equipment, that's not the way to set up for work from home job. That is a scam. Okay, you're not supposed to be buying any prepaid cards. They're not supposed to be asking you for money to buy any type of equipment, and then they'll pay you back later. That's not how the job environment is supposed to be like. So don't give into that, you know, scam. Okay, basically, like if you want to work from home, how the process actually works is that you will go through the interview process, usually like 1-2 interviews. You would just meet them over the phone or like virtually or in person sometimes, and then you will then, you know, be selected. He'll give you that, they'll actually for your identification and like, you know, go through that, you know, get the offer letter and go through the background check and everything like that, you would see that it's a legit company, right? And then you will speak to multiple people, not just one people, but multiple people will speak to you throughout the interview process. And also, like, yeah, again, they'll never ask you to pay anything or give, you know, out of your pocket to buy anything. Okay. Yeah, like, and how the process actually works is that you will go to like a center that is close to you, or like they will be maybe like mail the job work equipment to you, or you just go to a center that's close to you. They're probably maybe situated in your city, right? And they'll just basically add the job equipment to you, or like they will just mail it to your address, right? So yeah, and also thirdly, never deposit a check through the mobile app. Never do that. If you don't have the financial skills to basically evaluate a check and to know like, oh, is this check actually like the right check? Is it a good check? Then don't do mobile deposits. Okay, don't do that. So if you're not sure, even if it's just the slightest doubt, go to the bank, go to the branch and ask them to look at the check for you, right? And also, like, sometimes you might go through the process, everything is all legit, and then you get some people, I know like there's some employers that actually pay their employees via check, and you're not sure if the check is legit. Maybe it's your first pay. You can always go to the branch just to let them see, you know, that is this check actually, you know, a good check, and you can present them with like, if it's an offer letter or like they've given you, just to see that, you know, this is basically what they've given me, and I just want to know if like they're legit, right? That's something that you can do just to like, you know, be safe. That's something that I would, you know, advise you. Again, if you have the slightest doubt about a transaction, for sure 100%, like, you need to make sure that you're speaking to a third party about it. Don't like deal with the situation or handle the transaction yourself. You need, you know, an advisor to help you, you know, get through that transaction without any bruises, okay? Financial bruises. So that is my story, and that's what I wanted to actually share today. It's been on my mind to share this story because I know that it's going to actually bless somebody out there. This scams are like everywhere. There are a lot of people actually doing the scams, right? A lot of people are actually falling into those scams. So now I am very much more financially literate, and I know like there's certain things that you don't do, you know, but in this marketplace there are a lot more, you know, scams going on out there that we need to be aware about. And if you're trying out a new transaction, if you're wanting to do a new transaction that you've not done before, maybe using a new platform, you need to seek the help of an advisor. Your bank has a banking advisor. They have banking advisors, okay, they'll be happy to help you, you know, through any transaction that you are, you know, trying to do. And if they can't help you, they will basically connect you with someone that will be happy to actually help you to conclude that transaction. They will give you the help you need, the advice you need to, you know, handle that transaction. And so be very comfortable calling your bank to discuss certain things, to talk about money, you know, be very comfortable about that. At the end of the day, I want you to be, you know, financially stable. And especially like for people at the age of like 18, 16, like there's a lot of things that you can do to set up, like literally set up for the future. And there are things that I think right now that I could have done better. I don't regret them. I feel like it's kind of like, you know, life, there are like hurdles along the way, but you know, just to get you in that momentum and to accelerate faster, I think that, you know, there's some things that you can curb, and I will be sharing some of those things in the coming videos. I never thought that this channel was going to be one for financial advice, but I think that it's something I would like to share about because of my current career, what I do for a living. I'm a banking advisor. I think it's pretty interesting for someone that actually worked, you know, for someone that actually got scammed, coming back, you know, doing a 360 to working at the bank. So I definitely would say that, you know, we are your friends and we really want to help you. So thank you so much for watching today. If you did enjoy my video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment if you've been scammed before, or if you got any, you know, messages or emails about something that's looking like a scam and what did you do. So thank you so much. I will see you in my next video. Again, my name is Amanda Tayoko Fishala. I will see you next one. Bye guys.